In this video, I'll be showing you how you can create your dodge and burn action in Photoshop so that whenever you're doing your dodge and burn, you just have to do it in less than 2 minutes. We'll put that to test and see if it is true. So let us get started. First of all, I've already done my frequency separation and I will just have to start doing the dodge and burn immediately. But before that, I will first have to record my actions. And you do it by first clicking on this actions button here. If you don't have that, you can go to the Windows tab and you see actions, or you press Alt F9 on your keyboard. So I have my dodge and burn action, but I'll delete this one and we'll redo it again. So I start by clicking on this plus icon and I create dodge and burn literally, and then it is set into my actions, a folder or default actions, whatever folder it is, it doesn't matter here. And I can also set a function key, a shortcut key for whatever you want it to be, so that whenever you press that key, the action will carry out. But in my case, I will not have to do that. Then I'll click on record. I've started recording my dodge and burn. So the first step to do is to add two curves adjustment layers. One will be the dodge and one will be the burn. And usually by default, the dodge is always on top, but that is not a rule anyone is obliged to follow. So for the dodge, I will take up this slider a little bit higher. The curve, I'll take the curve a little bit higher so that the image will look a bit overexposed. And for the burn, I will take the slider a little bit lower so that the image will reduce in its exposure. And that is basically that. Then I will select each of the layer masks and click on Ctrl I to invert them. I'll do the same for the burn as well. And then I can stop my actions here. So my actions has been set, but that is just half of it. The later half of it is where I will have to turn off all these layers to reveal the original underlying layer, because I've already reduced the contrast and I've already done my frequency separation here. As you can see, this is the contrast reduced to -50 and the frequency separation has already been done here. And if you want to see how that can be done, you can check this video right here on your screen right now so that you can watch that after this video. So when I'm done taking these ones out, selecting the background, which is the first underlying layer, I go to select, color range, and because I want to work on the highlights first, I'll click on any area I feel is the brightest or where has highlights on her skin. And I think I'll choose this area. You can adjust the fuzziness to accommodate more areas for highlight or reduce it to take out more areas. So I think I like this and I'll click on OK. Now I've had my selections. Then I'll go over to the dodge and make sure your foreground color is white and start painting. Just paint over her skin area and you have your dodge. If you hold the Alt key and click on this layer mask, you can see the areas that were painted. But I don't like that parts of the skin of areas that were away from the skin were not painted as well. So I will deselect by pressing Ctrl D and reduce my brush. Press X to toggle my foreground color to be black, and I'll clean those areas that I don't want to be selected because they are not part of her skin. And I will do the same for my burn. Go over to select, color range, and this time around I'll be working on the shadows. So I'll click on an area that I feel has shadows, I know has shadows. And then I think the fuzziness is quite much. Reduce it to this and okay. Then I will go to the burn layer mask and start painting. Make sure your foreground color is on white and paint. I will do the same test to make sure I don't have spillovers of paints, and I think this one is good, so I'll deselect and then I will turn on all the layers so as to review them. As you can see, this is not really good. It has to be blurred out a little, so I'll go to my dodge layer mask, select my Gaussian blur, and I will blur it. I think this 52.4 is a good number, or somewhere around 42. I think this is fine. Okay, I'll keep it here. This is fine, and I'll do the same for the bone. Sometimes, if you get lucky, the amount of Gaussian blur for the dodge will also work for the bone, but sometimes it's not the case. In my own case, it is the case. So many cases. Then you can reduce the opacity for each of these. How I do mine, I take it down first, then gradually start taking it up to my taste. And that is how you can do your dodge and burn. Now I will redo this and we'll see how long and how fast it can actually take to do the dodge and burn using these actions. First of all, delete and delete. And I have my dodge and burn. Have it ready. The time starts now. As you can see, I'm not speeding up anything. And of course, if you want to be faster, you can actually be faster. This is for my burn already. The shadow has been selected. So I will paint over the shadow areas. And there is no rule to which one you must do first. If you want to do the shadows first, no problem. If you want to do the highlights first, no problem. I'll go back to this and deselect. Make sure you deselect before selecting another color range. If not, you're going to select within the former selection. So I like this as well. Go over to the bone and I will paint too. And here we have it. There are some spillovers. I will quickly clean that out. Then I can start adding my Gaussian blur. I have this at 48, good. And I have my bone at 48 as well, of which we already know is the case. But even if you need to adjust, it's not going to take a little up to 10 seconds. So, and that's I'm done. So that is the total time it took you to do your dodge and burn using these actions and the curves adjustment layer in Photoshop. Now you can see why I did not use the traditional dodge and burn tool in Photoshop, which is over here. When you're using this tool, you tend to manually paint on a selected area and sometimes you might not even get it right. And it is also not as fast as using these actions. So which one do you choose? Choose it this day, which dodge and burn method you will use. But as for me and my photography, I will be using the curves and dodge. What? I'll be using the curves adjustment layer for my dodge and burn. If you like this video, please do well to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you've not subscribed. The other videos in this channel, and if you want to see how to actually do your frequency separation, which I've already done in this image before I started doing my dodge and burn, you can watch it over here in this video as well. And I will see you in the next episode of I don't know. Goodbye.